Prepper score. What I've managed to pick up over the last 2 days at 3 different locations, and what you might want to think about grabbing also. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. So, yesterday we swung by the Dollar Tree. Today was Walmart and Lowe's. So I wanted to show you some of the stuff I picked up and talk about why I picked it up, and maybe encourage you guys to think about maybe picking up some of these same items, some of the similar items. Like I said, I'll give you the reasons why I picked them up and talk about, where I got them, how much they were, some items I want to test out, and yeah, there are some items here that will definitely help with our long-term sustainability, our homesteading type thing, producing our own calories. That's going to be really good. I'm really excited about those, as well as some of the other things I got. So, with that said, I'll start off with the dollar store, Dollar Tree items. First one was Memphis barbecue seasoning for $1. It's a pretty decent size. And for $1, not too bad, not too shabby. I think that's a decent deal. So I picked up one for preps. And yeah, it was just one. I was just, like I always say, prep a little every day. That's what I do sometimes. Sometimes we get more, sometimes we get less. Like one item I'll actually talk about. I'm not going to show it again because I've bought several of them recently, but I picked up another one. But anyway, let's go on to the next Dollar Tree thing. Children's Acetaminophen. Decent amount for $1. So everything at the Dollar Tree is not a good deal though. There was one thing there I noticed was their off-brand potted meat. So it's basically Spam in a tiny little can, half the size of regular Spam for $1, and it wasn't even the branded name. Not that that really matters, but it works out to be way more expensive at the Dollar Tree. So, like I said, and they're not the Dollar Tree anymore. I forgot that. That was $1.25 for that spice, and this was $1.25 also, because they increased their prices. I know the lady there said, oh, well, she's like, it's the first time, Dollar Tree has raised their prices in, 20 or 30 years? I'm like, well, yeah, no. I'm like, no, it's not. They just do shrinkflation. They make the packaging smaller. So no, it's not the first time they raise prices. It's the first time they raise the physical prices, yes. But they increase the prices over time through shrinkflation. So that's another thing to be aware of. Okay, so that's all I scored at the Dollar Tree. 2 little things, no big deal. Kids got a couple things. But moving on to Walmart, and this was today. Self-sustainability, gardening stuff, onion sets. I plant onions in 3 different ways. I use onion sets, as you can see. I use seeds. So onion sets, seeds, and I get onions, which I'm not going to show you. I grabbed a bag of onions, the sweet onions, and I'll cut the ends off. I'll get them to sprout, and I'll plant those also. So those are 3 different ways that I plant onions. So that's really good. That will produce not necessarily calories, but good seasoning. We love onions and garlic in our family, so having onions is a really good part of your sustainable preparedness. All right, so moving on. This is something we've talked about getting for a while and never really got around to it, so here we go. 5-gallon camp shower. Black bag. All you do is you fill it full of water, you hang it out in the sun, and because it's black, it absorbs energy, heats up the water inside, has this little hose coming down, you squirt yourself off and shower. Now, ultimately, if you got, a family of 4, like we do, you'd want to have probably 4, 5, 6 of these, maybe even 10 of these things, fill and hanging at all times, so that you could have access to the warm shower, because 5 gallons may or may not work. I guess we'd have to learn to make it work, right? Yeah, so I'll be testing this out coming up here as it starts to warm up, and obviously it would be good to test this time of year also. Is the sun, because the sun's not out as much, it's not warm outside, so will it actually heat the water when it's cold out? It's a good thing to test out. Now, I've never tried it, honestly, so I'm going to try this out. And yeah, it's Ozark Trail, but it's a simple thing, and it was like $11. Another thing I'm going to try out, and that may make into my patrol pack, my primary bag, is I like the whole idea about tarp and hammock camping. That's what I prefer. And with you see all the trees around me all the time. There's plenty of room, plenty of opportunity to use hammocks. So I found this at Walmart. I think it was $23, $24. Super lightweight. This is a hammock. Look how tiny it is. And it did say on here 6.8 ounces is how much it weighs. But it does not have the hanging kit in it. So we'll see. I'll have to use some 550 cord. So that adds a little bit of weight, but I'd have 550 cord in my kit anyway. So it may not be that big a deal. 100% recycled nylon, 300 pound weight capacity, which is fine. I don't even weigh like half that. Talks about opening size, close size, stuff like that. But Kajaro Native is the brand. You can see right there. So I'll be testing that out and see if this makes it, if it's good enough to make into my primary kit. So that's a good one. Or it may be a good one. And because we're going to be producing a lot of our own calories, gardening, picked up a case of mason jars. I do this almost every time I go to Walmart. I pick up a case of mason jars because they're like $11, and we're going to need a lot of jars to can all the excess food we're growing. It's very important. Adding it to our food storage. So, mason jars, get lots of them. And then the lids also. The rings are reusable, the jars are reusable, the lids are not. You can get Tatler reusable lids that are really awesome, but they're more expensive. Or what I do is these the packs of just this part, the lid part right here that's not reusable. Just pick up a bunch of those, a bunch of boxes of those. They're super cheap. And so I got lots of those kind of lids. And I have extra rings and stuff like that also, as well as a lot of canning jars. But I really want to add a lot more canning jars because I'm feeling we're going to need them. Okay, so another thing we've been talking about is kind of like bugging out capability. And I'm like I said, tarp and hammock camper. That works for me, but my wife kind of mentioned that she would prefer maybe having the four walls of a tent. So we picked up these. We got 2 of them because they are, as you can see, 2-person tents. They are Ozark Trail, so they're not lightweight. They're 7.6 pounds. So it's not an ultralight backpacking tent. It's not a 4-season tent. It's not super, it's not super high quality, but hopefully it'll work. 2-person tent. It is what it is. Hiker tent is what it's called. So we're also going to be trying these out and seeing how well they work. I hope they work well. And these were $49, basically $50, I think, each. So I'm hoping they work well. I don't have very high expectations, but like I said, hopefully they'll work. And the whole 4-season tent thing, you can supplement that with tarps over the tent, blankets around or lining the inside of the tent. You can make a lot work with what you got. So there's ways around it. Okay, Walmart. So that's it for Walmart. Now moving on to Lowe's. And I got to mention where I got some of the inspiration from this, because I like giving credit where credit is due. I got inspiration for the stuff that I got at Lowe's from the Unapologetic Prepper. Look him up on YouTube, Unapologetic Prepper. A lot of people don't like the way he approaches things because he isn't the typical prepper, toting the end of the world is coming, buy this from me now, stuff like that. But he talks in common sense, and he talks about things that we really should be thinking about. I like the whole idea of homesteaders and preppers being like this. Preppers should be homesteaders, homesteaders should be preppers. And that's what I'm doing. I'm more of a prepsteader. I wish that name wasn't already taken. That's an awesome name. Because I am a prepper, but I'm also a quote-unquote homesteader. I don't have a ton of land, but I'm doing what I can to produce my own calories, grow my own food. We're working on raising our own animals, stuff like that. So we're always moving that direction. So, got to give credit to him for his ideas for this purchase. Very awesome. I love it. So, and it's something I know about. It's not new information, not necessarily, but he made some good points, and it's something that just basically slipped my mind. because I'm thinking about raised beds and gardening and stuff like that. But he made a point about berry and fruit bushes and trees that you don't have to do much to. You plant them and they grow. And they live through the winter, and then they produce next year, and they produce next year, and they produce, and they produce, and they produce. You don't have to dig them up. You don't have to replant, anything like that. So it had slipped my mind, like I said. So I'm glad. Thank you, Unapologetic Prepper, for pointing that out and for making those good points in one of your videos. So what did I get? I got blueberries. We had 2 blueberry bushes. One of them died. So we got 2 more today. So the first one, you can see right there, is a Patriot Blueberry. So that's the Patriot Blueberry. And then this is the Chippewa Blueberry. So we got 2 blueberry plants at Lowe's, and they were $11.98 each. You can see right there on the tag, $11.98 each. So yeah, we'll have 3 blueberry bushes. I would like to add probably at least 3 more. I would love to be swimming in blueberries, because blueberries are awesome. They're really high in antioxidants. They're really good for you. We love blueberries. My family does. And if we can't consume them all fresh and raw, well, shoot, then we can dehydrate them and make them into dried blueberries. We can turn them into jams or jellies or anything like that. We love blueberries, so I'm sure we'll find ways to deal with it. Okay, so these are trees, but fig trees. Yes, figs. Figs are good, especially dried figs. We like dried figs. So these were, what you can see right there, $9.98 each right there. There you go. And this is at Lowe's. So we got 2 of those. What else did we get? We got 2 raspberries, because blueberries grow crazy around here, naturally, everywhere. But I wanted raspberries. I grew up, my grandpa always had a huge garden, and I grew up as a little kid running around the garden just chowing raspberries all day long every day. I loved it. So we got, these are Brandywine, see the darker ones, Brandywine and Heritage. So we got 2 different kinds of raspberries that we're going to be planting soon. And I came up with an awesome idea. I love it. So if you saw my other video, I believe it was yesterday's video, or I forget, it's a recent video about the arch I made, the trellised arch for the peas to grow up and over. Another thing my grandpa did was he had this trellised arch going all the way down the side of his house that you could walk under. It was this big arch, and you could walk. It was wide, and you could walk under it, way bigger and wider than mine. Mine's just a little tiny little thing. But he had grapes growing all over it, all down it. And you just go down there and just chow grapes all day long. So what did I get? I got grapes. I got 2 grapes. So what I'm going to do starting off is, I'd like to get 2 more. But right now, I'm going to plant these on either side of the trellis. And then I'll probably pick up 2 more and put 2 more on either side of the trellis. So I'll have 4. 2 growing up each side. And then I'll just have them, as they're growing, I'll kind of let them, weave them through the trellis and stuff like that, and teach them to grow all over that trellis. So grapes, also same thing, $9.98. So, and that's food that grows year after year without you having to do much about it. So that's a really good point, and I'm really glad I was reminded about that, because like I said, I do have 1 blueberry bush. We do have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 plum trees that one of them may produce this year. The other 2 I think are another year out. But like I said, one of our blueberry bushes died. We do have lots of blackberry bushes. We have huckleberry bushes, black and red huckleberries. We got lots of stuff around here that does grow naturally that we can go forage. But adding this, I think, will be amazing. So think about things like that. Think about your capability to bug out, like I was talking about, and or just go out and have fun in the yard in the summertime, right? Make prepping fun. You can go camp in the yard and get used to living outside, get used to being outside, get used to starting campfires via different methods. Cooking on the campfire. Just have an outdoor weekend when the weather's nice. That way you just enjoy it. It's not about, sucking it up, being hardcore out in the weather. You're out there with the kids and stuff like that, just basically close up the house, lock it, and have everything you need out there. And just cook, sleep, do the things, tell the stories, roast marshmallows, have fun. Making prepping fun is very important. So we'll be doing that in the tents, and maybe some hammock stuff also. Maybe we'll go out in the woods and do some hammock stuff out there. Actually, I guarantee we will. So anyway, yes, keep on prepping. Check out some of these things. Do some of these things. Try some of these things. I love you guys, and I want to empower and uplift you guys. Please subscribe, hit the like button, comment below, share the videos, ring the notification bell. You know, all those things. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.